Joey JayPing here, checking in live, man. RespectMyRegion.com, back with another episode of the RMR Podcast. Today, we're joined by a very special guest, which makes this a freaking wonderful episode, man. I got the homie. Some people say he's a myth. Some people say he's a living legend. Those are all things that I say. This is Jon Bond. This is the Chief Revenue Officer for Illicit Brands and From the Earth. John, how you living today, bro?
I'm good, brother. It's great to be back, man. Stoked to be reconnected with the RMR guys, man. Coming to you live from Kansas City, Missouri, Titletown, son.
Come on, man. I wore this hat specifically today because, as a Raiders fan, we thought we had a chance yesterday, and in classic fashion, not only did Mahomes and the team do their thing and make it 7-0, not a great. He had a great performance compared to the previous games he's had. He was just throwing dimes. At one point, he was 6 for 6 on third down conversions on our defense. I was just like, I'm done. We're definitely not winning this.
Hey, man, Chiefs Raiders, always an age-old rivalry. Dude,
it was great, man. It was great. You guys, you guys have a lot going on there in Missouri, man. I'm very appreciative to have you on the episode. We are on the North American Weed Tour. I'm actually here in Houston. You're in Missouri. These are two places that I never thought I'd be talking to people about cannabis things or being in it while on tour. It's just a wild place where the world is at. Where the world is at in terms of sports, and cannabis is also a pretty crazy thing as well. But we'll get to all these we'll get to the fun stuff when I see you in person. Today's a conversation about illicit brands, John. Today's a convo about From the Earth. You guys are rocking with us on the North American Weed Tour. We're going to be taking a tour of the facility, visiting 1 or 2 retail locations while we're out there next week. I'm really excited because per the data that's out there, and I'm not going to name where I get it from or who or what, but the data says that you guys are arguably the best in terms of overall sales for the state of Missouri when it comes to cannabis products, right? And then you also have retail out there. So today we're going to talk a little bit about 2 things. We're going to talk about the illicit brand side. You got the dope hat on. Such a cool name, man. Illicit, you think at the end of the day, like there's culture to it, there's history to it. And now you guys are out here doing dope activations. You guys are a part of community events and also national expansion at the end of the day. And we'll get to the expansion part at the end of the convo. So, John, who are you? What do you do at Illicit, brother?
You bet, man. Thank you for the intro. I'm Jon Bond. I'm Chief Revenue Officer here at Illicit Gardens From the Earth. Basically, help lead the sales team here amongst a lot of other super talented individuals, man. And who we are a Kansas City-based cannabis company that's now got operations in New Jersey as well. We have dispensaries, cultivation, manufacturing here in Missouri, as well as in New Jersey. So, at the core of all of it, man, we're just people that really care about the plant, creating quality products and putting that love into it, getting it out in the community. And I think the work kind of shows through in the products. So to your point, bro, I grew up here in Kansas City. I never thought there'd be an opportunity to do what I love, coming up on like 10 years in cannabis now in my hometown. Right. And, to be able to do what I love with a group of unbelievable people, an unbelievable team, in a place like the Midwest where there's just generally good people. Talking to Midwest folks on the dispensary floor is something that I can never get tired of. So seeing that kind of come to life over the last few years has been a pretty exciting thing.
I love that for you, man, because I also grew up in the Midwest. I have family here in Houston where I'm at right now. The same family spent time in San Antonio for 10 plus years. And then my mom, we also lived in southern Indiana for a strong, and my grandmother actually lived next to the airport. So I have strong ties to the Midwest. My brother was born in Chicago. It's an exciting time. I have never been, at least I have flown all over the country and been to so many different airports, but I can't sit here and say that I ever remember going to KC or
they call them flyover states for a reason, bro.
I know. And it's one of those things where it's like, and I say this as a music fan because, RMR, right? Like, only thing I know is KCMO because of Tech 9 at the end of the day. Like, that's literally, right? That's literally the extent of what I can think of for Missouri. And when I remember a couple years ago, watching Missouri come online and then starting to see homies about it. And one of my good friends in Washington, shout out my guy Dev, Dev went down to Missouri and has been down there for a number of years. That's shout out our host while we're out there.
What's
And
up,
he's
Dev?
been
I know Dev.
yeah,
Dev's
he's
cool.
been in that
Yeah.
market now, for a few years now, and it's just he was telling us years ago, like, yo, bro, you got to get down here, yo, bro, the weed's kind of good, yo, bro, it's getting better, yo, man, I'm seeing all these brands come on, yo, man, you know this guy Jon Illicit and whoop de whoop, tapping in real quick about you, the homie, right? And it's just like, fuck, man, like it's an exciting time. And then you guys got to go and win a couple Super Bowls. And now it's a party there all the time, right? The energy's got to be
Right.
crazy from a culture, community standpoint. Everybody can kind of rally around something that transcends cannabis, and then cannabis truly makes those interactions, community things even better. Watch parties with cannabis involved. Come on, man! Like
100%.
we're at that point, and then also too, it is the Midwest, so I know y'all drink out there, right? Like
People like their alcohol out here. You know
yes,
what's nice
sir.
though, dude? It's like, and listen, I'm all about like cocktails and stuff. At least for me personally, man, I feel generally better drinking less. Alcohol is for me is just not a good like the next day.
Of course,
Never. But at the same time, it's nice because you're starting to see like people like my dad, right, who's been like a lifetime cocktails guy. Usually stayed away from any sort of cannabis at all. He's like, I drink less and take a half gummy now and goes out and he's stepping out. You know what I mean? And it's like that's a cool thing, man. And people are generally, feeling better and living healthier lives. Like I think something we really focus on for us particularly is like, we're exactly who we portray ourselves to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
We love weed, we love the culture, but we also love doing things in our community. We definitely are not the lazy stoner type, right? I mean, if you'll see in our facility next week, but like, we work really hard to keep the job is not just a job, right? It's something that people are stoked to show up to every single day. And so we work really hard to like incentivize and motivate the team based on, the goals and things that we know that it takes to be successful. And all that transcends into like a hyper, like, team first competitive oriented thing that it does really well in the industry when there's a lot of people that take their foot off the gas when things are going well, or they feel like they're having some sort of success one way or another. And so that's really like a huge part of it, man, is like, driving that forward. And that, I don't know how else to describe it. You'll see when you get to the Midwest, but there's a lot of that here.
I've got a lot of great energy from our visits to Illinois. I've gotten, I've heard and sensed and been invited numerous times out to Oklahoma, right?
Yep.
And we've been to Vegas, we've done that. I'd say each individual market has its own excitement, passion, and just like any other community, their own set of problems and set of priorities and things that they truly care about and put their time behind.
And dude, at the end of the day, bro, it's all rooted in the fact that people are kind of figuring out that most people smoke weed or are okay with consuming cannabis in some capacity at this point. And so the ability to see people actually be able to like be open about that in the Midwest is something that hasn't ever existed here. And so I think it does really well for the industry.
I want to circle back to a little bit, about Illicit and From the Earth and who you guys are, what you guys, realistically do, right? There's the Illicit side, which is products, right?
Yep, brands.
And you, the leadership driving force behind selling those products across the state, which goes to the title of this whole episode of how you guys became number one in that state, right? And I think that I want to touch on that, but then also too, you have this other side From the Earth, which is retail, which is in multiple locations. It's actually a multi-state brand, and that allows you guys to not only just to sell Illicit products, but I'm sure you guys curate a variety of other brands and products there as well. So I want to speak about Illicit first because I'm a smoker. I'm definitely, I'm excited to check out the grow and the products and hear about the things that you guys make, and then we'll touch on From the Earth second.
Yep. Yeah, man. So I mean, like I mentioned before, I'm like a part of a team, right, that ultimately is responsible for getting there's 200 dispensaries in the state of Missouri. We're sold in about 90% of them, the ones that we want to be in, right? And from a product side of things, flower, concentrates, pre-rolls, and then we go like kind of the spider web in between, right? So we've got our flower and we got our signature strains, probably anywhere between like 12 to 16 of our genetics are in cycle at any given time, right?
Wow. Okay.
And within those, right, we have like live resin, both in the vapes and in like the concentrates, right, of those strain specific things. Then we've got distillate carts, classy carts, which is like, very popular SKU of ours because, there's people that actually like the fresh frozen taste of fucking live resin, right? And then you got
pure resin carts,
100%,
and I have live resin carts,
100%. And then there's the other people that like the taste of like the vapes, like cotton candy or whatever it is, right?
Shout out my mom. She loves those. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? Oh my
Yeah,
god.
and you want to meet everyone where they're at, right? So within those, we have that on the vape side. Then we've got the all-in-ones, 5, 10 threads within those, and then concentrates. We've got those live concentrates we mentioned, and we've got our solventless stuff, and we do like some unbelievable like hash rosin that we're really proud of, and then the edible side, we've got gummies,
Right.
we've got caramels, which are coming back now. It's getting a little cooler. We're stoked to bring those back. We just got the hard candies out. In the market here in Missouri, which is super cool. So like the 10 milligram gemstones is what we call them. And to be honest, man, it's all really just, we know what sells well. We know, especially within our own stores. So like you mentioned, we definitely wholesale, a decent amount to our own stores, but most of it is to the external market and third party, to other dispensaries that aren't ours, right? So it's really important for us reaching all those customers in the state of Missouri, not just here. You'll notice like Kansas City is here, but St. Louis is the other side of the state. And they might as well be two different markets. Same thing, like corner to corner, Missouri is like an 8.5, like 10-hour drive. If you're going from the southeast tip all the way to the west corner. So like those have really been kind of the staples, and we don't get too crazy. Now the cool thing is that we've been able to spin up like an additional brand. You heard it here first. We're launching a brand called Space Cadet here in Missouri as well. It's got infused products that we're really excited about, and we just focus on what we call it like I call it between the tackles. It's like football, right? Like these are things that we know we're really good at, and there's obviously particular costs associated with producing all of these products. And so within, the SOPs and everything that we've got all lined out to produce these, we know we can do them in a way that is beneficial to the business, both from like how we want to do things and then the quality of products that we want to produce at scale, knowing that we need to get that. You can have all the product in the world, you need to be able to effectively get it out the door and in a way that people can actually go get it. So
can you talk about Space Cadet and what those items are, or is that too much of the exclusive today?
To talk out yet? I always get in trouble for saying too much before I should, but we're definitely going to have.
Okay, so walk me back through. Let's go in summary of Illicit's products then. So you have a variety of vapes. So we see rosin, we see live, and then we see classic distillate options with the botanical terpenes, right?
Yep.
And then you guys have flower SKUs such as pre-rolls. You guys have blunts too?
No blunts, but the pre-roll packs, smokos are actually one of our most popular selling SKUs. They're like little cassette tapes.
Nice.
I don't have one in here with me, but they do very well, and they're full flower pre-rolls too. We don't put shake or trim or anything in pre-rolls. I feel like that's robbing the customer.
I feel like the pack game is super popular in a lot of these, not just new states, but like just markets that don't have that super strong history of medical weed, right? Like anywhere there's strong tourist markets, like those places, like there's just a lot more people smoking pre-rolls. Like even in Michigan, one of the top products up there with our homies up there at the lab and road trip, their 50 pack was just booming, right?
Yeah. And I mean, like the nice thing for us too is like as a customer, that's a great deal if you're going to get a 2.5 gram pack of pre-rolls, right, for half of the cost of what you'd pay for an eighth, right? And they're flour, right? And they're already rolled. You take the half. I mean, it's for us, it's all about shortening the path of what people want. Yeah, 100%. Well, and if you can count on the pre-rolls being good too, that's the other piece too. If you buy a shitty pre-roll, you're never buying it again. So
now, John, you spent time actually up there in Oregon building a massive company. We'll leave them off the name for now. This is about you guys. Tell me about literally compare the weed to me. What is your thoughts about Illicit's products in those flower? Because we're talking about like if you can trust the flower quality, then you come from Oregon, you come from the PN. We have not to say identical roots in regards to our cannabis come out, but it's quite a similar overlap in terms of the Washington flavor profiles and organs. There's not a huge difference, whereas California is drastically different from the other two. Right?
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about the product quality, John. And obviously you're biased, you work for them, but you see it, you live it, you breathe it. And so that means you can at least understand the nature of wholesale and bulk and what these different product types look like. And from a quality perspective, please, man, lay it on me. What is the real quality like from Illicit before I even get there? Because I'll relay what I think when it happens. But I want to know what your thoughts, bro, because you've been rocking with this company for a few years now. So I know you stand on that business right there.
Yeah, I mean, look, dude, in the most humble way possible, I know we have We have about 400 employees across the whole business, about 200-ish in the cultivation back there that put a lot of effort and attention to detail into producing the products that we do. And I think that shows in the quality of the products that we come out with. Right now, look, I always tell people, everyone, like, the weed game is saying that my weed is better than your weed, and saying, that's fine, right?
Yeah, Reddit handles that for us, right?
Sure, 100%. Ours is like, hey, we hope that you buy our weed, and then we hope that you buy it again after that. Because at the end of the day, when someone's paying taxes on a $40 purchase plus tax, right, that product better be outstanding, right? Or otherwise it's not worth spending your money on it. And so, we as cannabis consumers and people that love weed a lot, right, put that type of pride into it. I think the results speak for itself. So I think our weed's great. I think something that we stand by is the consistency of it, right? You'll see it's not a small facility that we have here. And so our ability to crank out the quality of flower that we are at the scale that we're able to, I think, is a huge testament to our team and those like million little details that we follow every single day. And then, like I said, man, like, it's hard to say, like, is this weed the best weed I've ever smoked in my life? And because, like, dude, there's just times where, depending on what it is, whatever, but I got love for the PN dub on the weed scene. You know what I mean? And let's put it this way. As someone that spent some of my favorite years of my life in the Northwest, I couldn't be more proud of the weed that we produce here as it stacks up to some of the best weed in the world coming out of the Northwest and Humboldt and all those places. It's as good as any, right? But not to say that we're better than anyone, right? We're just trying to fucking put one foot in front of the other.
Cannabis is art, right? Like, we've got to read between the lines a little bit here, right? We're just people. We all have different things that we like, right? Like, I'm a person and I don't like tomatoes and avocados and pickles. Those are things that I don't like that a lot of people like. So does that, you know what I mean? I have similar issues with certain things with weed. People love GMO. I hate GMO. People like this, they like that. I can't stand certain things, man. Some of it actually physically hurts my body. So it's hard to say something's the best when you don't even like it.
The way I look at it, bro, is we feel incredibly lucky to be here doing what we're doing in the time that we're doing it. And so everything else beyond that is up for everyone to decide. And I think that is kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, all we can do is put our best foot forward and hope that the people like it,
So based on your feedback for yourself as a consumer and also what the people have said, or cups or awards or whatever it is, what are some of those strains from you guys or some of those products that you guys have been, these are exceptional? Like, these ones, like, oh man, you keep your eye out for these. These ones go fast.
Man, honestly, I mentioned the live concentrates earlier. I think for a customer experience, because a lot of the things that make it into our fresh frozen usually go into people's B-bud jars. And then a lot of the things that make it in our popcorn jars end up going in people's A-bud jars. So we're pretty particular about that, right? Knowing that it's got to be fire in, fire out. And I think as a customer, there's no more like powerful, like, here's how I understand the entourage effect and terpenes than smelling a jar of GMO cookies flour and then taking a rip of the GMO cookies live resin vape, and then realizing that vape tastes exactly how the jar of flour smells. And then that customer is sold on like keeping strain consistent, like concentrates in that way forever. And that's an infinitely selfishly better customer for us. But dude, they just like the world, you remember, your world is rocked when you started to tie those things together and realize that you can actually kind of control the roll of the dice in terms of effects. So like, I would say our jump from flower to live concentrates is probably one of my favorite personal things that we do. Now, dude, we get to do shit like hash holes and stuff that's like, small run. We might still have a few of those in stock. We'll see. When Joey J comes to town, we'll find a way to dig a few out, I'm sure.
Hey man, I can roll hash holes too.
No, straight up, dude. There's an art to that too. And but like, I guess like strain specific stuff, like our GMO cookies is one of my favorite. Ghost OG, Gorilla Pie are some of our strains that are like A+. Dude, Animal Star cookies is one of my favorites. It's interesting because some of our favorite strains that we've grown and pulled down here, because they don't yield as heavily as you'd like them to, or they don't test as well and the consumers are finicky, we end up having to kind of phase them out because everything's data driven in what we do, right? So like Chem Butter, brand new strain, because packaging regs are interesting here, it took us like 3 or 4 months to get out. Now it's like, it's gotten to the point where when we drop new stuff, people get excited about it. So it's been pretty cool, man. But like, I love honestly, it all starts in the grow, right? Everything starts in the grow and it all continues down from that.
I think that's, you talk about those inputs, right? It's got to start and then grow for it to translate into the dabs, into the vapes, into the decarbed oil, whether it's in edibles or vapes or however that works. Now, so far in the convo, John, we've spent a lot of time focusing on your guys' products with Illicit, right? And I think that's important because when that's the brand, that's Missouri. That's when like people are looking at Missouri, it's like we're seeing y'all, right? There's a lot of retailers and across the country. When you look at a state, you think of these brands that drive success for these retailers. And I think at this point with you guys, you clearly drive success with the retailers that you're partnering with, over 90% of the stores. But let's focus on your locations for a second. From the Earth, right? I'm familiar with them a little bit from California, but my understanding is that they've been in a couple different states for a few different years. And so walk me through what's going down with From the Earth there in Missouri. What cities, what areas, where are you all at, man? How's that looking?
Yeah, so we're affiliated with the California From the Earth, just in namesake alone. Great people, right? We ended up that was a part of the initial licensing thing when we got the licenses, long before I was with the team. Like I said, I think I'm probably one of the newer members. I've been with the team almost 2 years now, but I'm one of the newer members of the team over here in terms of like this business. But our From the Earth dispensaries here in Missouri, we have 6 of them around town. We have, one downtown right next to T-Mobile Arena, which you'll get familiar with all this stuff. I'm telling you this stuff now, you'll be like, oh, okay, it makes sense.
Yeah.
We have one downtown by T-Mobile Arena. We have one over off Southwest Boulevard, which is like a main vein from the Kansas side into Missouri. We have one over on State Line, one in Independence, downtown. So basically 6 of them scattered throughout the Kansas City metropolitan area. And then we're getting ready to open that one in St. Louis as well, too. So,
wow.
From our side, we take every bit of detail that we take on the cultivation, manufacturing side and fulfillment, we take on the retail side, just in a different capacity. Our retail team is the best I've ever seen. And I was lucky enough, like you said, I was a part of a cannabis technology company that helped get 6,000 dispensaries, up and running on their cannabis technology stack, right? So I was familiar with a lot of retailers. I put our team up. I know I'm biased. I put our team up with any of them in terms of like how detailed and our ability to execute. And then furthermore, creating, a team we've got an unbelievable group of people that are motivated, passionate, willing to teach the next group of people that are getting ready to step into those roles. And so when you talk about like expansion and like moving to other sides of the state, moving outside of state of Missouri, do you lose me?
Yeah, I lost you just for a second.
There we go. I probably didn't say anything important.
You're back.
Long story short, dude. We got the great thing is that we have a team now that's been with the team for a long time that has been able to inspire the next generation of all-stars, right? And so now we're moving into multiple states. That's a big deal for us.
Go, John.
There? Hey, There you go.
There we go.
Is that you or me?
It would appear like it's on your side, but it's hard to tell. Either way, we're chilling though. We're chilling though.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi. So you're saying you would put your guys' retail up against anybody's in terms of just, again, the attention to detail, the experience. And I am here to co-sign from what I've seen, at least on the California side. From the Earth has a quality retail experience. It's memorable. It's clean.
We're totally different from those guys.
It's
though,
efficient.
So, yeah.
No, for sure. But you think about the quality, the name, the quality, the brand. What makes me excited to go to Missouri is trusting in consistency and trusting in quality and trusting that you guys are going to be at least maintaining the brand that we're familiar with, whether it's the same or not. I'm already familiar with the quality as I go out there, looking forward to it, right? And now you guys are saying, 6, 7 locations, 8 locations. Where are you at now, John?
7. We'll be getting this. It'll be 7th open in St. Louis.
Wow. So we'll be able. When does that St. Louis one open?
Not yet. It'll be a little while, but we're getting there. Not by the time you're here, but I mean, I'd love to when you're out here. We'll take you by the downtown State Line one as well too.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to see.
We're going a little road tour. We're gonna stop in a store. We're gonna get some barbecue. We're gonna smoke a joint, and then we'll take you to another store. So I've got a little day planned out for you.
Hey, come on, man! We got the Illicit tour coming up. Hey, y'all! Before we get any further, I got some more questions from my guy John, Chief Revenue Officer of Illicit Brands, From the Earth. Today, our episode is actually brought to you guys by two people, Illicit Brands and Seedless Media. If you guys need a full-service marketing agency for cannabis retail, visit seedless.media. It's a great marketing agency that I work with. They power these podcasts, and so big shout out to Steve and the team. SEO, loyalty, MMS, SMS, full suite of AdWords and programmatic, all the things you guys, this guy's gave me up a lot. So I recommend you guys there. But also, too, stay tuned because with Illicit Power episode and also to our tour out there, we're very excited because, again, we're gonna get to visit and see what goes on behind the scenes for, Missouri's #1 cannabis brand product sold. We're excited to see things like that happen. There are some really interesting products to check out. We're going to be doing some product reviews. As you said, we're going to see some barbecue. We're going to get some food options. We're going to try a little terps in that world, a little weed terps, a little barbecues terps. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a good time, man. There's a lot going on in Kansas City. St. Louis is popping. Man, Missouri's just it right now. You guys have event licenses that can happen out there too, right? Like, there's a bunch of
people are doing them. Yeah. They're getting there too. I think the other cool thing too is like, depending on those event licenses and stuff, there's like private venues that can do stuff as long as they're like, it's nice that stuff can live out in the open. Now cannabis companies have to be really particular how they operate. But
It'll be an interesting situation as that unfolds. Ultimately, people are going to continue to throw events. I've seen cannabis powered concerts. I've seen the after parties out there for the sporting events. I've seen the Super Bowl stuff. It's going to be a fun time, man. I really appreciate what you guys have done to help uplift the culture in the community there and create an opportunity for people. 400 employees or so is nothing to be scoffed at when you think about the size and scale of a company and supporting the local economy, taxed. Expansion coming. Let's touch on that real quick. You guys have New Jersey going down. Walk me through New Jersey Illicit, John.
Yeah, man. So we just launched the brand in New Jersey about 6-7 months ago. We're on about 95-ish shelves out there now from a wholesale perspective, which we're super stoked about. We're working on getting our first dispensary open, hopefully towards the end of the year, under the Illicit Gardens moniker. So that's going to be cool. And yeah, man, we're actually in the process too of getting New York live as well. So hoping to have our products on shelves in legal shops in New York by the beginning of next year. So yeah, dude, it's been a lot of fun. The team, like I said, you hear me say the team a lot, but there's a lot of people putting a lot of effort into the facility we took over in New Jersey. We were able to bring on some great people that were a part of the team prior that have really helped us champion getting that going. And so it's really exciting to see like our progress over the last 7 months from where it started to where it's at now. And the New Jersey cannabis market's super exciting. So we're just kind of in that, draw a circle on a map and try and win that circle and then move on to the next circle thing without getting too far overextended. So we're having a lot of fun, man. It's been pretty cool.
I love it. I love your energy and visibly can see that, I've been next to you and we've hustled together, the passion is there. Right. And I think, when you have quality products and you're able to go explore and adventure with these new partners and get into the success of expansion, that's some exciting stuff. New Jersey, I wish you nothing but success. New York, that's super dope, man. I wish you nothing but success. I can't wait to get out there and check y'all's place out in Jersey one day. I'm loving that. I'm loving that market. A really good group of people out there. Big shout out to the East Coast, Jersey, New York, Mass, Maine, all the fam up and down there, Maryland, Connecticut. There's a lot of great weed on that whole area up and down the East Coast, man. And
they got good vibes out there. It's cool. Like, I love West Coast cannabis, but East Coast cannabis has got a dope vibe, man. And it's like, it's the comeuppance of it is fucking sweet. It's been really cool to see it like take flight. Shout out Happy Monkey Cats. Those guys getting their store open up on Dykeman recently, man. It's cool to see people rally around a culture, and on the East Coast, it's different than anywhere. So
100%. Well, I appreciate you being here with us today, John. For those of you guys watching, this was episode 116, man. My guy, Jon Bond, the Chief Revenue Officer of Illicit Brands and From the Earth. If you guys want to reach out, feel free to connect with him on LinkedIn. He's been on there for years, so tap in with the way that I spelled his name on the information. You can just reach out and find him there. It's pretty easy to type in Jon Bond Illicit. It's about as easy of a name as it can get for craziness on LinkedIn these days. For those of you guys that have any questions about the cannabis products, be sure to visit their website. I believe it was illicitbrands.com, and I think I
Illicit Brand, illicitbrand.com. And then our Instagram, while it's not getting shut down, is illicitbrand.us. So while we still live.
Right. But more importantly, visit their website. Visit the From the Earth website for Missouri. Search these places.
It's FTEMO is our website in Missouri. FTEMO. It's easy to remember. Yep, there you go.
Easy. So that way you guys can tap in, man. Place your online orders, place your pickups. Go in there, learn about the products, learn about the different things that Illicit has coming out. I think it's a dope opportunity for you guys to really support from Missouri by Missouri with that. With those projects. So super cool. Thank you, Jon, for being here. Do you have anything you'd like to leave the people with today?
No, man. Appreciate you guys supporting us as always, both RMR and just anyone that might be listening to this, man. Like I said, we've been at this for a while, and it's most humbling and exciting thing in the world to be able to do what we do. So we're just happy to be here.
I love that energy, bro. I appreciate you, Jon. Thank you so much, man, again, for supporting us. We are here today, you guys, on, again, episode 116, North American Weed Tour. We're on it, coming at you guys live from Houston. He's in Missouri. We're out here, man. We're out here showcasing what cannabis is looking like. Stay tuned for our product reviews while we determine who's got some of the best weed in Missouri. We're going to do some product reviews from some of the partners that From the Earth carries. We're going to do some product reviews with Illicit and their products.
They're all great brands, bro. I'm curious to see what you think.
We're visiting a variety of other retailers and brands while we're out there, and so we will have an in-depth perspective for you of what the best weed is in Missouri. And soon I'll have a greater perspective of what the best weed is in North America as we continue to travel and journey. This year, unfortunately, we're not going to get to Canada. I don't believe we're going to make it to Mexico. I know that that's disappointing in terms of North America, but I will be reaching out to some of my friends who consume products in those regions, at least in terms of Canada, to determine what's the best there. So everybody, please stay tuned. Jon, thank you again for being here with us. Everybody, visit seedless.media if you need help with your marketing. But for now, we'll catch you next time. I love you guys.